Cadet Maria Josephine S. Cabellaran, BSCS. National VIPs President and Commander-in-Chief AFP, His Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Secretary of National Defense, Honorable Delphine Negrolio Lorenzano. Military VIPs, Chief of the Staff, AFP, General Andres C. Centineo, AFP. Commanding General, Philippine Army, General Romeo S. Browner Jr., AFP. Commander Ariscom, Major General Fernando V. Felipe, Philippine Army. Group Commander 19 RCDG, Colonel Patricio C. Tumales, ANF, GCS, Philippine Army. CO9 2nd CDN, CDC, Major Aledio V. Lumantas, CEPA. President GRMSU System, Dr. Dailinda R. Lapot. NSTP Director, Dr. Richard G. Daimil. NSTP Unit Head, Dr. Noel G. Lopisilio. Commandant GRMSU Army ROTC Unit, Major Alijo V. Lumantes, CE Philippine Army. Assistant Commandant, 2nd Lieutenant Nicanor B. Obnimaga, RES, Philippine Army. Chief Clerk, Corporal Roderick C. Acoimo, ANF, Philippine Army. Tactical Officer, Cadet Cesar C. Bala, RES, Philippine Army. 2nd Lieutenant Joe Peter V. Villaros, RES, Philippine Army. Senior Tactical NSOS Reservist Admin NCO Sergeant Journal R. Lapot, RES, Philippine Army. Tactical NCOS Reservist Private First Class Junray A. Maglasang, INF, Philippine Army. Staff Sergeant Gerald Rich H. Soto. Staff Sergeant Michael Ray Elvin S. Boreros. Sergeant Nancy E. Aranquez. Sergeant Maynard O. Comisilia. Private Rodel G. Patangan. Private Richie A. De La Rosa, RES, Philippine Army. Private Charlene E. Tagapan, RES, Philippine Army. Graduate Military Assistant, Private Adams N. Sumalpong, RES, Philippine Army. Private Nilo B. Lagradilla, RES, Philippine Army. Private Jefferson Paglinaw, RES, Philippine Army. Private Rico Jack G. Tagataw, RES, Philippine Army. Private Glenmar G. Ulinan, RES, Philippine Army. Private Shaharami M. Jailin, RES, Philippine Army. Private Giselle M. Pasculada, RES, Philippine Army. Private Vincent Jubilee G. Cadano, RES, Philippine Army. Private Ray R. Dayaw, RES, Philippine Army. Private John Ray P. Valladares, RES, Philippine Army. Private Joven Ray E. Sakal, RES, Philippine Army. Private John Fritz C. Cuenca, RES, Philippine Army. Private John Paul P. Yorong, RES Philippine Army. Private Michelle B. Andicoy, RES Philippine Army. Private Vince Alister L. Pagasian, RES Philippine Army. Private Mark Jill S. Lagomon, RES Philippine Army. Private Lisel Faith D. Areno, RES Philippine Army. Private Liza Claire C. Kanoob, RES Philippine Army. Private Jocelyn Ilopre, RES Philippine Army. Private Maybell B. Singkay, RES Philippine Army. BDE Corps Commander Cadet Colonel J. P. Monte de Ramos, EXO Disciplinary Officer Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Roderick L. Cadorna, ROTC 1CL. BDE S1 Adjutant Officer Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Bliss T. Manlupig, BDE S2 Intelligence Officer Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Ronel V. Bailon, ROTC 1CL. BDE S3 Operation Officers Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Ramil P. Samson, ROTC 1CL. BDE S4 Logistic Officer Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Shelami P. Azores. BDE S7 Liaison Officer Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jamaica S. Lagudas. 1st BN Commander Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jomari T. Osabel. 2nd BN Commander Cadet Lieutenant Colonel G. Ford C. Figueroa. 1st BN EXO Disciplinary Cadet Major John Mark T. Clemenia. BNS1 Adjutant Cadet Major Kathleen Rose E. Apaw. BNS2 Intelligence Cadet Major Jericho T. Osabel. BNS3 Operation Cadet Major Jason A. Hamalin. BNS4 Logistic Cadet Major Maria Alona Jane B. Alfon. BNS7 Liaison Cadet Major Chinlin R. Silva. 2nd BNHO Disciplinary Cadet Major Brian P. Banualos. BNS1 Adjutant Cadet Major Robelin B. Magnawong. BNS2 Intelligence Cadet Major Hansel D. Susubrado. BNS3 Operation Cadet Major Raymart O. Lakay. BNS4 Logistic Cadet Major Mary Joy C. Maghinay. BNS7 Liaison Cadet Major Royla Bernadette B. Juanlog. Cadet Major Mary Chris A. Lidama. Cadet Major Aaron G. Kalasa. Cadet Major Stephen J. F. Tosilio. Cadet Major Juvenal P. Catelo. Cadet Major Christian G. Sardani. Cadet Major Ariana Faye N. Palangan. Cadet Major Bobby Janela G. Cañete. Cadet Major Gino A. Carbonilla. Cadet Major Kent O. Dampayla. Cadet Major Raymart S. Anyo. Cadet Major Markjen L. Rosiso. Cadet Major Rickman V. Cabanag. Cadet Major Brittany D. Agwet. Cadet Captain Mr. V. D. Akia. Cadet Captain Richard S. Zamoras. Cadet Captain Joseph D. Miral. Cadet Captain Erwin T. Palomares. Cadet Captain Aurelio L. Flores. Cadet Captain Kit Roy F. Maghanoy. Cadet Captain Ruben Vincent A. Sumanduran. Cadet Captain Jefferson N. Maquiling. Cadet Captain Blaze Jason H. Yunting. Cadet Captain Raymar B. Dimos. Cadet Captain Jonathan D. Gumanad. Cadet Captain Raven M. Delicano. Cadet Captain Lenchi Kyle S. Abaco. Pledge of Loyalty. If you work for a man in a heaven's name, work for him, speak well of him, and stand by the institution that he represents. Remembers on wounds of loyalty is worthy of pound of liverness. If you must grow condemned and eternally find fault, why not resign your position? And when you are in the outside, down to your heart's content as. But as long as you're part of this institution, do not condemn it. If you do, the first high wind that comes along will blow you away. And probably you will never know why. Military courtesy, an act of politeness, civility, and respect that a personnel in the military organization accord to one another. Military discipline, it is a state of order and obedience existing within a command. Military leaders, it is the process of influence men in such a manner of to accomplish the mission. Military secrecy. What you see, what you hear. When you live it here. Salute is the highest form of courtesy. The 11 general orders. 1. To take charge of this post and all government property in view. 2. To walk my post in a military manners, keeping always on alert and observing everything that takes place within sight of hearing. 3. To repeat all violation of orders I am instructed to enforce. Number 4. To repeat all calls from posts more distant from the guardhouse than my own. 5. To quit my post only when properly relieved. 6. To receive, obey, and pass on the sentinel when relieve me all orders. All orders from the commanding officers of the day, and non-commissioned officers of the guard only. 7. To talk to no one except in the line of duty. 8. To give the alarm in case of fire of orders. 9. To call the commander of the guard in a case not recovered by instruction. 10. To salute all officers, colors, and standards not cased. 11. Last, to be especially watchful at night and during the time of challenging, to challenge all persons on or near my post and to allow no one to pass without proper authority.